Hey, welcome to C-SPAN from the Florida Aquarium. We broadcast live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. to bring you fun activities and opportunities to get to know our animals while we are closed. Today, we'd like to welcome our C-SPAN corporate sponsor, CIBC. A big thank you to CIBC for your support of the Florida Aquarium. And here's what I want to do, actually, just to kind of celebrate that. I'm just going to draw their logo real quick here. Today, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be teaching you how to draw a shark. And also, along the way, I'm going to be teaching you a little bit about sharks. So that should be a lot of fun. All you need to follow along is a pencil and paper. You can use a pen, you can use a marker. If you use a pencil, the advantage is then you can actually erase lines. So that's going to be what I'm going to do here. There we go, CIBC, thank you very much. I don't know why that C's a little bit smaller, but that's okay. Now, I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to start with a very simple shark. And as I go through this, you might go, whoa, oh, I should introduce myself too. I haven't done that, have I? My name is Matt. I'm an instructor here at the Florida Aquarium. You can call me Matt or Mr. Matt. And send comments in. We are looking at those as well as we go through this. But yeah, so I'm going to start with a very simple, basic shark. And if it's going too fast, don't worry about it. Do the best you can. You can always go back and rewatch this video, pause it, rewind it, and all that sort of thing. And let's get started. So to draw the most simple basic shark, all you need to do is some basic simple lines. So we're going to start with our top of our shark, the dorsal side of our shark, and that is just going to be kind of we'll say a subtle frown, okay? In fact, it's almost a straight line. And then we're going to do the bottom of our shark, which is going to be kind of a smiley face. So we're going to turn that frown upside down. And this one I'm going to make a little bit more curvy right there like that. Now, sharks have fins, and they need these fins to swim, they need them to steer, and so they have a lot of different fins. We're going to start with what we call the tail fin or caudal fin, and that is, of course, back here in the back. And basically, I'm just drawing a triangle right here, and then another triangle below it. Now, keep in mind, this first shark is going to be very cartoony, and as we go through this, I'll show you some ways to make your shark a little less cartoony or just make it a different type of cartoony, but this one is going to be the really basic shark. Now, sharks also have a dorsal fin on the top of their back, and if I can imagine, this is kind of the halfway point here. I'm going to start that fin about there, and it's another triangle that just kind of fell over a little bit, just like that. You can even get a little curve here. Little subtle things like that is going to sell your shark and make it look like a real shark. And most sharks have two dorsal fins. If you go to the Florida Aquarium, we have sand tiger sharks. Their second dorsal fin, which is back here, is almost as big as their first one, but it's different on different sharks. There are over 400 species of sharks that have been identified, and you can make your own shark up too. So lots of sharks to choose from, lots of different possibilities. Here is the second dorsal fin on my shark here. And then we're going to give the shark some more fins. Now, of course, they have these pectoral fins. Think of your pectoral muscles. These are the pectoral fins of the shark. And they start just a little bit in front of our dorsal fin here, right about here. Now, this is where having an eraser can help you out, because you can erase this line now if you want. I'm going to leave mine there just so you can see some reference points for it. But I could go back and erase it later if I wanted to do that. Now, we're not done with the fins yet. We're not finished with the fins yet. We also need the pelvic fins. So think of your pelvic girdle, your waist, or right below your waist, I should say. And sharks have pelvic fins. And it's kind of a triangle here. Basically, they have two of these, but you can't really see the other one from this shark perspective. And they've got these back here. And then they've got another little ventral fin or anal fin back here in the back. Now, these are the basic fins of the shark. Now, if you want, you can kind of make this look a little bit more 3D and add that other pectoral fin there. Is it starting to look like a shark? All right, here we go. We're missing some of the most important parts of our shark. Of course, the mouth. Sharks are famous for their mouths and their teeth, so let's give our shark a mouth. Now, there's a lot of ways to draw a shark mouth. This is a cartoon shark, and I think sharks are cool, and I think they're really awesome. I'm going to make this a happy shark. So we're going to make this a nice happy shark. Just give it a little smiley face like this. Now, this is one of the easiest ways to draw a shark mouth, because now to do those teeth, all you have to do is draw some lines like this. Look at that. It's a happy little shark. Very nice. And now the eye. Now, eyes are tricky on sharks. This is where a lot of people sort of mess up a little bit, and they like to put the eyes back here or something. That is not where shark eyes go. Typically, shark eyes are going to be closer to the front, and I'm just going to draw a circle like that for the eye. Just a real basic shark eye. And now I'm going to give the shark a little more detail in the eye. So for this shark, I'm going to have it sort of looking back like this. And what you can do with this eye, if you want to get really fancy, is give it a little highlight. So I'm going to draw a circle inside this circle, and then I'm just going to shade it in. Look at that. Now it's like a sunshiny day for our happy shark there. And we're missing some parts still, though. We still need some more stuff. So, for example, sharks are animals that live in the water. They get their oxygen out of the water, and the way they do that for most sharks is water goes into their mouth and then it goes over their gills. And I don't know if you guys know out there how many gills most sharks have, but most sharks have 5 gills. 5 fingers on my hand, 5 gills on most sharks. So those go right in front of this pectoral fin here. And I'm just going to make little sideways happy faces. Look at that. Now look, it's a cartoon shark. You can give your shark less than 5 gills. I'm just telling you, if you show it to somebody that works at the Florida Aquarium, we're going to go, that shark is not right. It doesn't have enough gills. And you'll be guilty of drawing not enough. Sorry. All right, anyway, our shark also needs nares. Now, we don't call them nostrils because they don't breathe with these. They just use them to get water in there and use their amazing sense of smell. And to draw the nares on this shark, I'm just going to draw a little circle like that. Sharks have amazing senses of smell. What they always say is, if you filled an Olympic-sized swimming pool with water and then just put a drop of fish oil in, imagine that oil dissipating through all that water. A shark could detect that. So really great sense of smell. And they've also got some other senses. So for one, they have something called a lateral line. And this is something that most fish have. And I'm going to represent it with a line that goes like this. Okay. Now this line right here, it allows the shark to feel pressure changes and vibrations in the water. If you've ever seen a school of fish and you wonder, how are they staying so synchronized? Well, they're doing that with their lateral line. And sharks aren't done there, though. Okay, we only get 5 senses, not counting like sense of humor, sense of balance, that kind of thing. But we have, sight and hearing and touch and taste and smell. Sharks get all those plus 2. They get 2 extra senses. They have their lateral line here, and then up in the top, up near their nose, shouldn't say the top, up under the nose here, they have these special little jelly-filled pores. And if you look really close at a shark, you may see little spots. It's going to look like my shark needs to shave. But really what those are is one of my favorite science words, and that is ampullae of Lorenzini. It reminds me of a Renaissance painter. Oh, did you see that ampullae of Lorenzini? It's a beautiful painting. Well, what these are actually is they're sensors that pick up electrical fields. And so every time a muscle moves like a heartbeat, that puts off a little bit of electricity, and sharks can pick that up. So if you see like a hammerhead shark swimming through the water and you wonder, why does it have this? That's a weird looking hammerhead shark. Why does it have this big broad head? Well, it's got these ampullae of Lorenzini all in here, and so it can use those to find a stingray or a flounder hiding under the sand. Pretty cool. All right, now I think this shark, we're going to call this shark done almost. We have one more thing to show, and that is a special type of camouflage that sharks have. This is how it works. There is usually a line that kind of goes under the nose, under the eye, through the gills, down here, and everything above this line is darker, and everything below it is lighter. And this is called counter shading. And the way it works is this. You've got your sun up here shining down through the water. Okay, there's our water. Down here is the dark bottom below. So let's say that you are a fish. There's our little fish here. He's really happy. And you're looking down at the shark. Well, he's blending in with the dark bottom below. But if you are something on the bottom, let's say a stingray, and you're looking up at the shark up here, Okay, and you're looking up. Now the sun is shining down and the shark is blending in with the light shining from the surface. So counter shading is something you see. You might have seen it on the penguins yesterday. You'll see it on stingrays. You'll see it on birds. You'll see it on all kinds of animals. And it's a great form of camouflage. Now, here's what I want to do. I'm going to turn the page, okay? And I'm going to go to a new page, and I'm going to do another shark, but this one I'm going to just change a few things, and when I change these things, what it's going to do is change our shark. So we're going to do the same basic stuff, the same basic lines, all that stuff is going to be exactly the same, but we're going to just twist it a little bit. So here's what I'm talking about. Let's make this a really fun, cartoony shark this time. So I'm going to make this top line, I'm going to make it actually completely straight. Look at that. You go, what kind of shark has a straight line on the top? None of them do. But this is your cartoon shark. You can do with it as you please. This is just going to be a fun, cartoony shark. Now this line, I'm going to do a smiley face, but I'm going to make it kind of lopsided over here. So it's kind of like a smirky smiley face right here. And I'm going to go like this, just like that, okay? So now you can see maybe our shark's starting to take shape here. We've got to add those fins. So we're going to add the caudal fin back here. And when I do this, I'm going to give it a little more of a rounded point up here, a little more curve. Same thing with the bottom lobe of our caudal fin. And I'm going to add some flavor, okay? I'm going to add some more extra details. Here's what I'm going to do. A lot of sharks have this little bit here on their top lobe of their caudal fin. Look at that. Doesn't that look better? Doesn't that look more sharky-like? Sharky-like? I just made that up. Now we're going to add our dorsal fin, and we're going to put it, remember, about halfway back. We're going to kind of make it come up like this. We're going to round it a little bit, and then look at this curve. It's a nice, nice curve. Curves are always nice to have in art. There we go. Look at that. And we'll give this one a little bitty secondary dorsal fin. Looks just like, it's like a baby dorsal fin from the front dorsal fin. It's like a primary and secondary, but we'll call it mama and baby. Baby shark dorsal fin. I'm sorry, I'll never do that again. Now, all right, let's put our little ventral anal fin back there, and we will put our little pelvic fin here. And then, of course, our pectoral fins. I'm going to give this shark really big pectoral fins. You know, this shark is a good swimmer, likes to get a lot of balance and swim around the reef. Top of that fin right there. And I'm going to go out of order. You don't have to go in the same order I went in the first one. I'm going to draw those gills in right now. I'm going to give this shark, it's how many gills? Tell me out there, how many gills does this shark need to have? Now, there are sharks that have different numbers of gills than this number, but most of them have this number. What is it? Somebody tell me out there. And we'll see. Should I hide it? If you didn't guess already, it's fine. There we go. Thank you, Juan. It is fine. Hey, I know that guy. Now we're going to draw the mouth of our shark here. Heather will be so proud of you, Juan. And we're going to make this another happy shark. And we're going to give it a really big mouth here. Look at that, big mouth shark. We're going to give it some really big teeth because sharks have big teeth, right? Depends on the shark, actually. This shark has big teeth. Look at that. We're going to give him a little detail here. Look at that smile. It's a happy shark. Happy shark. We're going to make it a little more 3D. See, it's the same. It's the same as our last shark. The difference is I'm changing some of the shapes, changing the way these lines are, and it's totally making our shark look different. We're going to give the shark some eyes, and I'm going to make this shark really cartoony, so I'm going to exaggerate the eyes. I'm going to make one eye like this, and see how it's popping above the top line, that dorsal line of the shark. That doesn't really happen, but we're going to do that on this cartoon shark, and I'm going to do another eye here, and then I'm going to make this shark's eyes. He's looking up at the sun. There we go. And then we got to give the shark some nares, just like so. And then we'll add our counter shading line. Now, if I was going to take more time with the shark, I would probably shade it in, maybe give it some color, add all that stuff. And what are we missing? We're missing our lateral line here. So we'll just come in here. And if you're thinking, Matt, I don't normally see a lateral line on the sharks, but if you look at pictures of sharks, look at sharks in an aquarium, sometimes you can sort of see a difference in shading, this sort of almost a little razor-like line there. So pretty cool stuff. All right, now I want to do one more shark, and then I'm going to let you guys maybe give me some suggestions, see if I can draw from your suggestions. But I want to make one that's a little more realistic looking, because we've done two kind of cartoony sharks here. So we're going to do another one. This one we'll try and make it look more like a real shark. So it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to sharpen my pencil here real quick. It's going to be the same basic idea, the same basic lines. The difference is just how much we give them curves and where we draw them in relation to one another, but it's pretty much going to be the same thing. So for this one, I'm going to make this line a little more subtle, like this, okay? I'm going to do this one. See how this is a little more rounded. I'm drawing a little lighter here. I think you guys can still see it. I'll go over it darker in a second. I just want to make sure I get this nice and good. So now this is a little bit more realistic. It's not a photorealistic shark that we're going to do here, but it's going to be a little bit more realistic version of a shark. We're going to do the top of the caudal fin. Give this a little more curve here. There we go, and there's the bottom. Sometimes this bottom lobe has a big curve on it. Depends on the shark. You guys should do this. If you're going to draw sharks, and I hope you guys are all drawing your sharks out there, you should go and look at some photo references of sharks so that you can get an idea of what these look like. You go, but I'm drawing a cartoon shark. But still, if you add details from real actual sharks to your cartoon designs, they're going to look more legit. They're going to look better. So, all right, now we're going to add our dorsal fin, again, about halfway back. See, these are still the same lines, but you see how this is looking like a little bit more realistic looking shark. Very rounded on the top here. A little curve in on the back. Look at that beautiful dorsal fin there. Famous dorsal fin of sharks sticking up out of the water as they get to swim around in our beautiful ocean. We'll fin down there, and then we'll add this little pelvic fin here, and our pectoral fin is going to come out like this. Give it a little curve up here, and then if you want to add some, if you're not going to shade it, you can add lines to kind of make it look more 3D like that. Give it a little line here. You can even, some sharks, this kind of curves and connects here. We're still going to kind of cheat with our perspective and do that a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and get to the mouth. Now, if we're going to do a realistic shark, we're not going to have a big smiley face, although I always imagine sharks having big smiley faces. But for a real shark, their mouth is more like this. Okay, so it's more of a, I won't say frown, because I don't like to think of sharks as being sad, but it's a little bit more of that kind of a curve. And it's not usually big, wide open. You know, sharks aren't these big, scary things swimming around with their mouths open all the time. They got to open their mouth to breathe, most of them, but a lot of times it's just open a little bit. And then we'll kind of get our nose a little bit and draw some teeth in there. Now, their teeth are little. You may not even see them in a shark this size. And we'll get our eye here. A little bit smaller eye, little pupil. Still going to give it a little bit of a highlight there. And this is why you get the eraser, because I realized I made his mouth too long. See that? It's going to erase it a little bit, 'cause it's bugging me. A little nair up here. It looks like he's got an eyelid. He's a sleepy shark. Look at our counter shading. I like to do my gills before I do my counter shading, actually, because it kind of gives me some information on where to put that line. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gills. All right, and then we'll get our line coming down here, back through here. And the one thing I still want to add is our lateral line. There we go. Look at that. We've got a slightly more realistic looking shark. All the same principles there, all the same basic line structures there. you can just keep changing this, making all sorts of different types of sharks, different species of sharks. All this stuff is just like, if say you want to make a great white shark or a blue shark, it's mostly in the face, it's in the fins. It's going to make your shark look like a different species of shark. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to find out if you guys have any suggestions on things you'd like me to draw, and I will see if I can choose one that I can draw from my memory and see what we can do. So I'm going to ask my helper here, do we have any suggestions for drawings? Let's see. I see narwhal. I could do a narwhal. Okay, let's do a narwhal. Now, again, this is going to be a little bit of a cartoony narwhal, and I haven't practiced this one to do as a tutorial, so I'll do my best here. But what I would recommend is I'm going to do my best narwhal I can do off the top of my head, and then you guys can look at this and see if you can draw a narwhal. But I know narwhals have kind of a rounded head, so I'm going to start there. And then we're going to make this a little bit cartoony. So he's going to have sort of that same line on the top that our shark did. And I know that he's also a cetacean related to whales and dolphins, and they sort of have this muscular tail. So this line kind of comes in and curves here a little bit more. Back like this for the tail. And then they got a little bitty lip. He's got a really big lower jaw. That's okay. He'll be a cute little narwhal. Here, we'll give him a little smile. Happy narwhal. And I know they also have little eyes, and I think their eyes fall around here, but I'd have to look at a reference to see if my eyes are correct on that. They do not, I don't believe they have a dorsal fin, so we're going to leave the dorsal fin off. We are going to give them those pectoral fins, though. Some pectoral fins. No gills, though, because this is a mammal, so these guys are breathing above the water here. And then and then we're going to give it the tail. Now, the tail of the narwhal is very unique, and it's the problem with drawing it from this angle is that the tail actually comes out here. The shark, it comes out from the top and the bottom, but the narwhal comes out from the side. But here's the thing I know that I learned about narwhals from one of my fellow instructors here at the aquarium, is that their tail is kind of backwards like this. So that's going to be, it's kind of flipped up a little bit. That's our narwhal tail there. And then, of course, they have this tooth that comes out near their lip. It actually comes right through their lip, and they use this to have disagreements with other narwhals and that sort of thing. So this tooth can be really long. And we'll give it, it's kind of got this twisty look to it. So we'll give it some lines here to show that twist. And then the other thing that really sells a narwhal is that they have a lot of markings, and they're kind of black and gray or black and white. And so I know when I have drawn narwhals before, and I know that one of the things that really makes them look like a narwhal is having that color. So I don't want to take too much time to color this narwhal, but if you wanted to, I would make this portion dark here. We'll just give it a light coloring here. And then, you can have fun with this pattern here. And there is your very out of Matt's imagination narwhal with a little bit of help there. And let's see what else we've got. Let's see here. I see one for a squid. And now I know squids pretty well. I draw a lot of squids. Let's do that one. That'll be easy. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to say this will be an easy one to do. So I'm going to do a squid here. Now, you can do squids in different ways. You can do a side view or a top view of the squid. I have a video that I did the top view that maybe you guys will get to see. But right now, I'm going to do a side view of the squid. So the squid, the way that you do that is they have this top part here, which is called their foot. Okay, so squid are in this group of animals called cephalopods, and cephalopods are the head-foot animals. This is the foot of the animal here, and it's also called the mantle because this outer layer of skin, it allows water to go in there. So it's got a little point here. It comes down like this. And then squids have fins. Just like sharks have fins, squid have fins, and depending on the species of squid, it might start all the way down here, it might start up here, but they use it to help stabilize themselves. Some of them use it sort of to swim. So here's my squid fin here. It's kind of the side view. It's a little bit thick too on some squids. We'll do it like that, there. And then we're going to give this squid its head. So here's the head of the squid. Just two little lines. Look how simple this is. And then squid have really big eyes. So a lot of squid live in the deep. A lot of squid are nocturnal. And yet they do use their eyes for hunting. So having big eyes is very advantageous. So I'm going to give this squid a really big eye. Now you can't see the other eye because it's on the other side of the squid's body. But there's the eye. And then squid have sometimes really interesting shaped pupils. Sometimes they look kind of round. Sometimes they're kind of this hourglass shaped. I'm going to make our squid have this fun hourglass shaped pupil. How about that? There we go. Now, coming out from underneath the mantle here is a special little opening. It's called the siphon or the funnel. And what is happening is the squid will take water up into the mantle and squirt it out through here. That's my special effects. And that makes the squid go pew this way. So squid are jet-powered animals. Pretty awesome stuff. And then, of course, we have squid arms. You may say, well, don't you mean tentacles? Well, squid do have tentacles. They have 2 tentacles, but they have 8 arms. Well, I'll tell you about that in a second. So to do the arms, I could draw them all individually like this and have them come out. You're not going to see all 8 from this side. Some of them are going to be hidden. But you can also, I'll show you a little trick. You can also sort of cheat a little bit and just do this shape and then draw your dividing lines for your arms here. So here we can see 4. Maybe we'll just do 5 coming out there, a little 6 poking out there, maybe 7, just so we know that they're there. I'll just draw all 8 of them. Then nobody goes, but your squid doesn't have enough arms. It's been disarmed. And then underneath the arms, they have these little suckers on the bottom, little sucker discs that they can use to hold on to their food, which for most squid is going to be little crabs and shrimp, maybe even other squid in many cases. And these are the arms. Now, octopus have 8 arms. They're related to squid. Squid have 8 arms. Octopus don't have any tentacles. And you go, wait a minute. I thought that was an octopus thing, tentacles. Well, they have 8 arms, no tentacles. Squid have these 2 tentacles, which I haven't left a lot of room for, but they're attached to the same spot as the arms. They come out, and we're just going to do it like this just to have fun. And they're longer. Now you go, well, why don't you call those arms, or why don't you call the other ones tentacles? Well, a tentacle in science is not as strong. It can't really hold on to things as well. It could even be sort of like these funny things on the back of sea slugs that we call tentacles. These are not real strong. They're kind of spaghetti-like. They're good for shooting out and grabbing that fish and pulling it in, but they're not going to hold on to that fish for very long. They have on these little clubs, on the bottom of these little clubs, they have more of these suckers. And so they use these tentacles to shoot out, grab their food, bring it into their arm, or they can pull it into their mouth, which is a beak, and then into the rest of their body. Now, the other cool thing about squid is that they have these really cool skin cells called chromatophores, and what these do is they allow the squid to change their color and their pattern, and cephalopods are better at this than anybody else. And the cool thing about drawing a squid is that you can make your own pattern. So I'm just going to do a real quick one here. But if I was taking more time, I could get really detailed and stuff. And you can give them spots and lines and all sorts of things here. Pretty cool. All right. Okay, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up. I'm going to call this finished. If you did enjoy this, leave us some comments below. Let us know if you want to see more of these art-science combo tutorials, and we'll see if we can get some more out there for you guys. But I do want to say that concludes C-SPAN. We hope you had fun, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow when we have Sean here, who is going to give us a tour of the seahorses, and I hear he's even going to feed them, which is pretty cool. Sean's an awesome guy. And thanks again to this week's C-SPAN partner, CIBC, for being sorry, I'm reading here, for being on this adventure with us. Until tomorrow, stay current, and I also just want to say happy birthday to Carrie out there.